How you doing, Brandon?
Doing good. It's an awesome adventure that we're on.
Standing in an entryway to a Copart. Simply put, they're being dicks. Picking up this F-150, and they will not let us drive it out. They said you got to have a tow truck. Well, had the appointment set for noon. There's other people that have had their appointment set for later, and they are not going to stay open that long. They're going to close at 1, even though they said that they're going to be open till noon. It is a Sunday, but I don't understand why they're being the way that they're being. We got run off by a police officer. We'd been there for like 5 minutes, and maybe not even that. And the cop was like, "Get off the property." Yeah, it was very much fun. I've flagged down a couple people that are coming in to try to get it. I've called AAA wouldn't do it. I called the tow company. They weren't going to get here before 1 o'clock. I've talked to like two or three different transport guys that are coming in and be like, "Yo, can you just like take it off the property?" And they're worried about their vehicles, which is understandable. I don't blame them at all. But there's a guy that came in with a U-Haul, and he had the same problem yesterday, so that's what he's here for. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So, but the biggest issue I've got right now is that there's a police officer on the lot, and we've been here for about an hour and a half, and I guarantee you every single soul on the property knows about this truck and knows what's going on with this truck and what we're trying to do. So I'm worried that this cop is going to be a complete dickhead. We're not going to drive it until there's insurance on it, but obviously it's not registered yet. There should be a grace period on when you purchase a vehicle and registering it, which I think is about a week. But it doesn't matter to him. Like, if he wants to be a dick, he'll be a dick. And I'm just worried about him being a dick just to be a dick, because I could tell already that he was going to be a dick. So, because whenever I was talking, there was a driver there, and I was talking to him about pulling it out. And I was like, "Hey man, would you pull this thing out? I'll give you $100 to tow it to the end of the yard." And while I'm there, he literally came up behind me and he was like, "Get off the property." And I'm just like, for what? Like, what am I doing? There's literally only this one guy here on a Sunday. What's the problem? And he's like, "I don't care, get off the property." And I literally asked him, I was like, "What am I doing wrong? Why are you being so aggressive?" And he's like, "I'm not being aggressive." And I'm like, "No, I wish I would have gotten a video," but yeah, not good with that whenever I was trying to do what I was trying to do. So I'm worried that he's literally going to follow this U-Haul guy out and follow us to where we go. And then the second that we hop in it and try to drive it, he's going to pull us over and or call his buddies or whatever and either impound the truck, put me or both of us in jail, just whatever. And for literally nothing, because I know that down here you have to have a like a rebuilt title sticker on vehicles, like basically certifying them, but South Carolina doesn't have that. So if I'm from South Carolina, I wouldn't think that I would have to have that. What do I know though? So the problem is I got a South Carolina tag that I could put on it, but it's not for this thing. I literally just sold the car that it was for last night. So that's why I brought the tag. And if they decide that they don't want to, or they want to be dicks about it and be like, "Well, this tag is illegal, like it's not for this car," and they're like, "Yeah, you're right, because I sold that car. This tag is the one that I'm going to be transferring onto it. I just bought it, but obviously I haven't done anything with it because I don't have the title yet." So, and I'm fairly certain, I don't know the legalities on it, but I'm fairly certain that you have 7 days. So, and I'm pretty sure if I have South Carolina insurance on it, he won't be able to do as much. He can probably fight me on it. He might be able to write me a ticket. He could impound the truck. Let's put it this way. Depending on how far he goes with it, if he does anything, I'll probably end up having to sue the county here. Like, that, this is just getting way out of hand way too quick. So I get what they're trying to do. Like, they don't want people to be driving cars that are completely unsafe. This truck was literally underwater up to its like frame, so it wasn't like, it would be basically like you drove it through a creek. That's basically what it was in. Running and driving truck, the whole truck is fine as far as I can tell. The battery might be dead, that's not that big of a deal. I brought a spare battery, brand new. Tires looked all brand new in the pictures, all that stuff. I just flew to Ohio and I did the same thing 6 days ago, no problems. So I don't understand the deal with this one, but The only thing I can assume is because of flood vehicles. Anyway, keep you updated as things happen. Update. Apparently the truck is coming out. Apparently they have it on the trailer. Kind of weird. I had talked to one of the guys and he kind of hung up on me, so I figured that he wasn't going to do it. And then this U-Haul guy came in and they apparently talked to each other. U-Haul guy was here yesterday getting a vehicle. The other guy was like, okay, well here, like I'll give you a U-Haul guy, I'll give you 20 bucks, and the other guy's gonna take 80 of it. So I don't even know what vehicle it's gonna be on. I don't know if it's gonna be on the guy's wedge trailer or if it's gonna be on the U-Haul. I have no damn clue. But he's gonna bring it out. He's gonna take it to the Sunoco. I just don't wanna be on this main road, which, if you can't see it in the video, but there's literally a cop sitting down there at the entrance, and I'm worried that he is going to make this a big deal. One of the tires is flat on it, which I knew it was low, but in the pictures, like, it was only about, it had probably like 10 pounds in it. So I've got my tire inflator. I'll fill it back up. We'll see how long it holds. It probably has a spare tire underneath it anyway. But yeah, so that's the update for now. Total fun. I got to call my insurance company and get it on there, because the last thing I want to do is have county or sheriff guy call me. Oh, $20 guy call me. Hello. Yeah, I see him.
Okay, you can hold it at 20 right there and give it to me cash as you want to.
That's fine. Whatever, man. Whatever works for you. I'll give you 20 bucks cash, and I'll give him the 80. I got it.
He sent it to me. Just ask him for the proof.
Okay.
You gonna take us to Sunoco and take us there?
That's what I said. Yippee!
That's flashing his lights.
He's flashing his lights at us.
You think you'd be able to take us up to that Sunoco? You good with that? You good with taking us to that Sunoco right there?
Go that way. I
Go right. Any gas station that way?
Yeah.
We just,
right
it doesn't matter. We just want to get off the property because we're worried about that freaking cop being a dickhead.
You have a flat tire.
Yeah, we got an inflator.
Because that cop was making big old stink about, you know, everything. The police officer sitting right there. So, man, water level. It's not completely flat.
And I have to give you $20 to the funny guy so he can drop the truck down, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. He said he was going to drive down here, so I can just give him 20 bucks cash whenever he comes down or whatever. He just said make sure that, like, if he zells me the 20, just get proof from him that he sent it to me. the other guy. But believe me, that was kind of the thing. It's like, I would give this guy 100 bucks, but I'm worried that he's just going to be like, nope, my 100 now.
Yeah, I told him that I got
Can you take us to that gas station though?
If I can take you?
Yeah, can you take us so we don't have to deal with?
Yeah, we're worried about taking it off here and him coming down here and basically like, nope, I'm impounding it.
Yeah,
you're gonna come here?
That's what we're thinking.
I'm worried.
Can we just go to the gas station right there? Whatever the next gas station is.
I don't know. Right
I'm just worried about him. And if he's not, then he's.
He told you to come over here?
Well, he might.
He didn't. He didn't say anything, but whenever I was over there, he was being like this huge dick over nothing. He didn't even say anything other than get off the property. Get off the property. Like, why? Get off the property. What's going on? Like, what am I doing? Get off the property.
You need that trailer so you can.
Plug in the sidewalk. This is probably what's leaking. But it's not spare. I think that's timing chain. It could be rod knock.
Or reverse doesn't work.
It might be full of water. We might have to do like fluid flushes.
Just watch your hand if it catches. Watch, he might roll forward.
Okay.
There we go.
It may not even drive. Yeah, it may not even go and drive. It might be full of water. That might be why it's not working. on the stick. There's no telling, because a lot of times they get oiled on the stick.
It could be from what?
Could be from the stick. Or, no, it's full. We're not making it anywhere with this. It's gonna be on the road dead. That's all clean, that's not soaking wet.
It got water up here.
It could be from the battery. No telling. But it doesn't make a difference if the motor goes boom. Just trying, really, we gotta figure out why it doesn't have. So, big stink is if you look at the photo that we've got here, bottom right hand corner of the gauge, it has oil pressure. Well, when it was brought out, it had no oil pressure. We pulled the oil filter off and, you know, cranked the truck up, and nothing came out of it. So the only thing that I could think is that the oil pickup tube had gotten clogged. I spent about 6 hours tearing the motor apart trying to get to it, and just, we got to the point where we're like, we're killing ourselves for this. It was completely wasted. There's no point in doing all this work on this thing whenever we still have a transmission issue. There's probably shrapnel gone through the transmission. It probably won't make it all the way home. And we decided to just say, F it. You know, I don't know what happened. This was not a run and drive truck at all, like, in any way, shape, or form. Copart says that run and drive is if you can start the truck and you can put it in drive and it goes 5 feet forward, and you can put it in reverse and it goes 5 feet reverse. Obviously, it doesn't go 5 feet in reverse. The video you just watched of us basically pushing the trailer, or pushing the truck off the trailer, whenever he was shifting it into reverse, that was just gravity wanting to kind of like roll it back a little bit. In reverse, it did absolutely nothing. I'm actually in talks right now trying to fight with Copart on this truck because they completely misrepresented it in every way, shape, and form. So, update. It is now 6 p.m. We've been here for 5 hours, and we are saying basically, fuck it. Copart's run and drive policy. It don't run and drive. I don't know what they did, but they basically blew the motor up. Between when they took the video and now, does it crank? Yes. Does it drive? No. I'm just like, I've already dumped $1,000 worth of parts, and I would just realize that it would be the same cost for me just to buy a U-Haul or rent a U-Haul pickup truck and tow the Miata back than it would be to do this, and this might still break down. I did it for the fun of it, but fuck it. So I think what I'm trying to get my fiance to drive down right now in my F-250, which, you know, so we'll see if the Miata is able to run and drive tomorrow, which is not how it was advertised, which is the main reason why I bought this truck, because it was advertised as run and drive, and it's a POS. Like, I honestly think it got written off, and this truck was already broken beforehand. I don't understand how Copart was like, oh, it's a run and drive. So we'll go get the Miata. If we can get it up and running in less than 30 minutes and this thing's still here, I will take it back home and probably just scrap it right off the bat. I'm not gonna sit and dick with it because I have to do the whole fucking motor. Basically, I tear the motor apart, do the motor, and then it still doesn't have a transmission in it, and it's just not worth it. Like, I'm gonna lose every single penny just trying to get it back up and running. It'll go. It'll just go straight to scrap. I'll just take the loss on it. Whatever. Another lesson of Copart. Don't trust their bullshit. Have a good one. Getting in the Uber.
I don't know how it got on time.
Brandon's not in the mood. I'm not in the mood either. Why don't you tell him about our adventure with the train tracks?
We sat in traffic for a while.
Like an hour and a half.
Because of a train that hit a truck on the tracks.
So what was it?
Right here, he'll show a photo.
No, I won't. Probably. So what was it, Brandon? It was a literal what?
Yeah, so far this whole trip has been a train wreck, and that was just, that was the icing on the cake right there.
Thankfully, my fiance brought my 250 down. She drove overnight, got here at like 5 a.m. in the morning, and she's currently sleeping in the hotel room about an hour away. Didn't bring my trailer just because it had a car on it. So we just still rented the dolly. Also, for anybody wanting to know, if you're wanting to buy a Copart vehicle from one of these flood auctions, they will not let you drive it off. They don't love to share information online. I've done it before, but down here in Florida, no. So if you want it, make sure that if you come to buy one of these things, you have somebody lined up to tow it off the yard. If you're gonna drive it back, fine, but you have to have somebody tow it off the yard. Crazy, man.
You get a lot of those.
And I guarantee you that about 75% of these vehicles are probably okay, depending on what the level of the water got to. It's just that they write them off because there's no point trying to even the threat of lawsuit or something. Hey, I'll take that Raptor. I kind of miss my trailer right now. Yeah, I don't have my seatbelt on, I get it. They've got a lot of loaders over here, but they're telling me that I need to go to the other side. I'm guessing this is all semi-trucks. This is where they load all the semis, and then the other spot is where they load all the cars. So they want me to come all the way to the fence and then turn left. I bet you I can't even go left here. How much you want to bet I can't even go left here?
Looks like you can.
Alright, I will put my seatbelt on just so you shut it. Explorer ST, take that too. There's a stork that's trying to get a bird or get a crab or something. I will take that BMW. I'll take whatever the fuck that is, because that's cool. Oak. Looks like it's on a Miata chassis. Hey, look, an NA Miata.
It'd be funny if we just saw the Miata or your kid.
Yeah, and then I would just park in front of it. Like, that's fine. This is actually really cool to be able to come in here. Why did they leave the top?
Hopefully we can leave from the other side and we don't have to drive through back
Would be
through all this.
nice. There's some ugly wheels on that Genesis.
You checked the trailer? I did okay on the trailer?
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really like fully. I was like, I can check it in a minute when we get over here, because I'd rather be over here and have them working, because I don't want it to be like yesterday. Well, we didn't see your car, so I'd be like, well, I was parked over there on the other side. That's why. Ooh, C7Z06. What the fuck happened to that?
Pretty destroyed.
Well, the hood's just fucked up, and then they just got tape all over it. That's destroyed. Look at a Mercedes. That's destroyed. So they said go to the lights, so I'm guessing those lights will have one in there. It's just crazy. Crazy the number of cars that are out here. And most of them aren't even damaged. Most of them are just water lines. I don't see any waterline marks on these things, though. They're supposed to have waterline marks. Unless they just put it on one side. But I'm not seeing them on anything. Maybe it's one of the... Maybe these things are just completely underwater. I don't even know.
Well, maybe they're not all flood cars.
They're all flood cars. It's the only reason why they're here.
So, I realized I sounded like a complete dick there. Brandon, if you're watching this, I am so sorry. I think it was just the lack of sleep. I meant it as these yards are just sub yards. They're just the sublots for like the hurricane damage stuff. So they literally just threw these yards together really quick just to get all these flood vehicles in here, and that's why all of these cars are here. There's a Packard right there. There were a lot of Corvettes. There were a lot of Mustangs. I mean, you could just see the absolute craziness of the amount of cars out here. And this is just one yard. So right next door is the IAAI yard, which had just as many vehicles. The other yard where we got the F-150 was just as big as this one, just on the other side of the lake, Okeechobee. And then you had the main yard that had the same amount of vehicles too. It was absolutely bananas.
Woo! You can tip over.
There you go, Brandon. It's over there.
Bringing the Miata.
Biggest problem I've got is how they usually load them. They stuff the front ends of the cars into the front of the doors and they fuck up the bumpers. Pisses me off every time. I mean, most of the time it doesn't matter if they're actually in an accident. Their front ends have been destroyed. But like cars like these, they should do it that way. Tires don't protect it. Tires are actually what makes it worse. Well, I wouldn't say worse, but it does make it worse. You gotta take the license plate off of it. In the photo, you can see where they taped over the license plate so nobody can see it, so they never took it off to us. Miata.
We got a Miata. You can just barely see it back there. Just gotta get out of here. I guess everyone claimed their golf carts on their insurance.
A lot of people do.
I think it has a fixed lens.
Dun dun dun. The train wreck of sorts. It's only been about an hour and they've already got a crane out here since we passed through. They don't just need a winch, they need a crane. So I was talking earlier, I'm pretty sure that this train was actually going backwards because it doesn't make sense because the engine is on the right and it's not even damaged. And there's 3 or 4 cars that are bunched up, so I'm pretty sure that it was going backwards in this truck. I don't know what happened with this truck. I don't know if they were broke down on the side or what. I mean, but like logistically, it's very confusing as to what direction they were going.
Just a random car.
Yeah. So, but thinking about it, the truck is pushed to the right side and it's completely destroyed and burned to the ground. So yeah, fun stuff. And this is the traffic we sat in for over an hour. It's the other side. They had actually completely backed up this side road here, I'm guessing to bypass everything. And we sat in this traffic for about an hour and a half. Fastest route is an hour and a half. No, thank you. So at this point, we jump forward a good bit. We're up in Jacksonville, Florida at this point. It's probably around 6 p.m. It's been about 6 hours, 7 hours. I don't know what happened. I lost a good bit of video. I don't know what happened with it. We got back in time to the Pink Flamingo. We picked up the ladies before checkout was at 11. Took the Miata to the local auto parts store. I bought a brand new battery for it, threw it in. Car fired right up. Had no issues, no check engine lights, no warning lights, no ABS codes, no airbag codes. Radio worked. Alarm system worked. The key fob worked. Like, everything worked on the car. It was perfectly fine. While it was on the tow dolly, I pulled the rear plug off of the diff, and I checked the diff, and the diff didn't have any water in it. If the diff didn't have any water in it, I knew that the transmission was fine, so I gave it to Brandon. I was like, here you go, Brandon. You can drive this home. I put it on my insurance, threw the tag on it for my 11 Miata that I had just sold the night before. So it shouldn't have any issues with that, you know. And he actually followed me. We went, and we got the F-150 and put it on the tow dolly, which I was told it wouldn't fit, but it did. And we started the trip back.
You know, we didn't have any more issues out of anything. We stopped a couple times. The Miata needed gas a couple times. I paid for that for him. And we basically got back to the Georgia line. Or I'm sorry, Georgia, like somewhere in Georgia. And we stopped in Georgia for fuel for the Miata, which was the last stop that Brandon needed. And he kind of just left ahead of us and got a good distance ahead of us. Right now we're in Jacksonville, so, you know, but he didn't have any issues. The car was getting like 32 miles per gallon. I still haven't done anything with the F-150, and like I said earlier in the video, I'm in talks with Copart trying to get them to take this thing back. At first, I was just going to be like, you know, I'll scrap it, I'll eat it, but after I got done with being tired, I started thinking about it. I was like, this is not a run and drive truck. This is where we stopped right here to go to the bathroom, get some food, let the dogs go to the bathroom, and then Brandon headed out after the end of this, and we kept going. You know, we didn't get home until probably about 1:30, 2 a.m., I want to say. I think it was 2 a.m. is when we got home, and Brandon got home about the same time as we did, but he had to drive further north than we did. So it was a very long trip. It was not expected, you know, Copart doing its thing of saying run and drive, which it could be a run and drive and have some other kind of issues, but when you have a vehicle that has mechanical damage like the way it does, they actually do say in their damage reports mechanical damage. You know, whether or not it's a transmission issue, or it's an engine issue, or if it's a wheel bearing, if it's got a stuck brake caliper, if it's got a rear end noise, whatever, they will put, if they know about it, they will put mechanical damage. So when they didn't put mechanical damage for the motor or the transmission or anything, but I mean realistically the transmission alone would have made it not run and drive because it has no reverse, and under their guidelines a run and drive is forward 5 and back 5 feet, so it doesn't fall underneath that. And I don't know what happened to the engine. I mean, nothing had water in it. In the truck, in the Miata, nothing. There was no signs of water anywhere on either one of them. They were completely dry. Both fired right up. Heck, the F-150's battery was even charged enough to fire it right up. We didn't have to put the jump box on it or put a new battery in it or anything. So I got to take that back. At one point, whenever earlier in the video, when we were doing the F-150 stuff, I had bought every single part to do the timing chain. I bought an oil pump, I bought a timing chain set, I bought a water pump, I bought a fan clutch, I bought timing cover gaskets, valve cover gaskets. I bought everything on the front of the motor to do the job. I had torn pretty much all of it down, and I got to I had gotten the water pump off. I didn't have a water pump, I'm sorry, not a water pump. I didn't have a fan clutch removal tool, so I had to kind of work around trying to get the water pump off, which sucked. The water pump was kind of seizing there, fought us, and basically I called it once I got to the power steering pump, and the power steering pulley wouldn't come off. I had a tool for it, it wouldn't budge, and I was just like, it's getting dark, I'm not going to spend all next day on this thing, it's not worth it. You know, I was like, I'll just eat it at that point, but realistically, this truck shouldn't have happened. This truck shouldn't have been listed as a run and drive just based off of the transmission issue it has. I don't know what Copart did. I'm actually getting ready to go on another trip, you know, here in the next couple days, that I've got another vehicle that was supposed to be run and drive, and I had some initial worries about oil level. I'll give you a backstory on that in that video. I'm going to pick up my dream car. Spoilers, it's my dream car. You'll have to watch the next video to find that one out and figure out what it is. But yeah, we're just cannonballing back. I had asked the fiance to drive from the gas station to there. I was actually asleep on that section of the drive between the gas station to there, and she was just like very uncomfortable with the towing the F-150. The F-150 was backwards on the dolly, and it was kind of unsettling the way it felt, and I needed a nap. So took a nap. I was good to go. We drove all the way back. That's just getting on 77, so we've got like 70 miles left to go. And yeah, so we made it back. Had to use the F-250. F-250's been great. I love the truck. You know, it got like 15 miles per gallon tow and another F-150 backwards on the trailer. You know, and I normally get like anywhere from 17 to 23 miles per gallon on it, depending on how much weight I have. It's an awesome truck. It's just sometimes I don't want to drive 10 plus hours one direction whenever I'm going to pick up a vehicle that should be run and drive. And I want to make content, you know. Screw ups like this, you know, this truck is what makes everything interesting, right? Nobody wants to see boring stuff of you just going to pick up a car and bring it back. So if anybody has any comments, you know, leave some. You know, I'd love to hear them, and you know, I'll hopefully get a little bit better video on this upcoming trip. It should be a little bit, I hope, smoother, but it is a 1,000-mile trip. I bought another truck to tow my dream car home, and I'll be renting a U-Haul, and hoping that it makes it. We'll find out. Catch me next time on the episode of SVO Fanatic.